Love is often described as a feeling that comes from the heart. But in truth, it originates in the brain, a powerful biological and psychological process that has evolved to bind us together for survival, reproduction, and emotional intimacy. When we fall in love, our brain undergoes a series of profound changes that affect the way we think, behave, and even perceive the world. These changes are not random. They follow a predictable pattern shaped by evolution, chemistry, and emotion. Falling in love activates a complex network of brain systems that overlap with those responsible for motivation, reward, addiction, memory, and emotion. This powerful neurological cocktail is what gives love its euphoric highs, obsessive thoughts, emotional intensity, and even physical symptoms like a racing heart or butterflies in the stomach. One of the most significant changes occurs in the brain's reward system. When a person falls in love, the brain releases a surge of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, motivation, and reward. This is the same chemical released during activities like eating chocolate, achieving a goal, or taking addictive drugs. In fact, studies using functional MRI scans have shown that the brains of people in love light up in the same areas activated by cocaine use. Love, in this sense, is literally intoxicating. Dopamine increases energy, focus, and craving. It fuels the obsession and desire we often feel for a new partner. It sharpens our attention on them and triggers a sense of exhilaration just by thinking about them. We replay their words, recall their scent, anticipate the next meeting with excitement. The brain becomes fixated, and the object of our affection seems to shine more brightly than anything else in our world. At the same time, norepinephrine surges through the system. This neurotransmitter, also involved in the fight or flight response, increases alertness and heightens memory for emotional experiences. It's why we remember the smallest details from the early stages of falling in love: the color of their eyes, the way they smiled, the exact words they used. Everything seems vivid and meaningful. But while the brain is becoming hyper-focused, it is also relaxing its critical thinking. Activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for judgment and rational thought, actually decreases during the early stages of romantic love. This is why people often ignore red flags, idealize their partners, and overlook incompatibilities. Love, quite literally, makes us less rational. Another critical player in the chemistry of love is oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone or cuddle chemical. It is released during physical touch, especially during hugging, kissing, and sexual activity. In women, it also floods the system during childbirth and breastfeeding. Oxytocin deepens emotional intimacy and builds trust between partners. The more time we spend in close proximity to someone, the more oxytocin is released, creating a loop of emotional connection. Vasopressin, a hormone similar to oxytocin, plays a key role in long-term bonding, especially in men. It has been linked to territorial behaviors, monogamous pair bonding in some animal species, and the maintenance of long-term relationships. These hormones help transform short-term attraction into long-term attachment. Falling in love also affects levels of serotonin, a neurotransmitter associated with mood and social behavior. Interestingly, during early romantic attraction, serotonin levels drop, similar to what occurs in people with obsessive-compulsive disorder. This may explain the intrusive thoughts, anxiety, and compulsive behaviors that often accompany early-stage love, constantly checking messages, overanalyzing interactions, needing reassurance. This neurochemical turbulence can create emotional extremes. Love makes us feel euphoric, but also vulnerable. The thrill of being wanted can quickly turn to fear of rejection. The brain responds intensely to any signal of acceptance or disinterest from the loved one. Emotional highs are matched by deep lows. In this way, falling in love is not only joyous, it is also risky. But love is not just about chemicals. It also engages higher-order brain functions. Falling in love involves imagination, memory, and meaning. The brain integrates past experiences, fantasies, and expectations into the narrative of a new relationship. The loved one becomes not just a person, but a symbol of hope, security, passion, or healing. Love also reshapes identity. People in love often report feeling more alive, more confident, and more connected to a sense of purpose. The brain reorients itself around the partner. Priorities shift. Habits change. Even future plans are reimagined in light of the new relationship. This cognitive reorganization helps integrate the partner into one's sense of self, a process known as inclusion of other in the self. Over time, as the initial euphoria fades, different brain circuits come into play. The intense craving of early love gives way to deeper, calmer forms of connection. Dopamine levels stabilize. Oxytocin and vasopressin take over. The brain begins to prioritize emotional safety, cooperation, and mutual caregiving. This is the phase of attachment, a key to long-lasting partnerships. But not all love stories follow this arc. When love is unrequited or lost, the same brain systems that once brought joy can generate deep pain. Breakups activate the same neural pathways involved in physical pain, which is why emotional heartbreak can feel physically unbearable. The brain, deprived of the drug of love, experiences withdrawal. This is not a metaphor, it is a literal neurochemical process. Yet, just as the brain adapts to falling in love, it also adapts to healing. Over time, new connections form. The brain rewires. Emotional memories are reprocessed. And often, people emerge from the end of a love stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. In every case, love leaves a mark on the brain. It is not simply an emotion, it is a full-body experience orchestrated by an intricate dance of chemistry, cognition, and culture. It can lift us, shake us, confuse us, and change us. But it also reveals the deepest truths about human nature, our longing to connect, our capacity to grow, and our willingness to be vulnerable in the pursuit of something greater than ourselves. Understanding how the brain changes when we fall in love helps us see that love is not just an accident or a mystery, it is a process. One rooted in biology, shaped by psychology, and enriched by human experience. And while science can map its pathways and identify its molecules, the meaning we find in love will always remain uniquely personal, etched not just in our brains, but in the stories we carry and the lives we choose to share.